Morning, everybody, and welcome back to day 24 of NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, where I am not exactly writing a novel, but I'm playing Untold Adventures Await every day and using it to kind of like flesh out the world of Prisma Arena, which is the setting of a new game we have coming out today, actually. It launches in worldwide. I think it's coming a little bit later in the US on December 4th. So yeah, if you like the world, please jump on and pick up a copy from We Are Hope Games. So I'll stick up the banner here. So yeah, we're day 24. The last episode ended with our heroes escaping the bringers who were trying to capture them. They discovered that the followers of despair are building a kind of doomsday device where they are trying to kind of absorb all of the hope and Prisma within Solace, so that it will kind of usher in a kind of a permanent time of despair. They have been kind of trying to extract the Prisma from children, and we went to a laboratory where some were being held, and we attempted to rescue them, but they were kind of escorted away, and now we're trying to track them down. So we've escaped the Bringers of Despair, and we're trying to catch up to the Shruma, who are these kind of mushroom-like humanoid creatures who are escorting them to where I think they will be picked up by a ship belonging to the followers of Despair and taken to this location where the device is. So I haven't kind of set up the next episode. I'm going to switch here. I haven't kind of pre-set up the first tile because I just thought I'd open it and see where it all goes today. So, and we are joined by Majora, who's a member of the Raven Ninja, or the Ravona. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I always want to check out my 9. So actually, yeah. So we're beginning at a location. So the episode opens where a threat is pursuing someone or something. So, and I think I want to try and tie it back into where our episode ended. So I'm going to say, trying to think, the natural inclination is to kind of just start straight back into the action, where we are chasing after the others, and where we're also being pursued. And that feels like it makes the most sense. So I think we're going to open on a... So I think the episode's going to open on a cliff face. So let me just switch the camera here. So it's going to open on a cliff edge, kind of on the cliff edge above the Wailing Falls, and let me see. So I'm going to try to weave this in with our episode. So in the Wailing Falls, I think so I'm going to use this one, I think. I think it's a Shruma search party are pursuing someone or something. So it cuts to and I think you see these creatures kind of grunting and pointing and kind of fanning out. Well, not fanning out, but they're kind of running along this kind of cliff edge. Maybe there's a risk, one of them almost slips and gets grabbed, and they're chasing after this other person or thing that's just kind of like disappearing around the edge. Oh, they could be after a thing actually. So yeah, because I always end up going for people. Maybe let's go for a thing. It could be a group or an organization or something. They're tracking something. Okay, so I am going to kind of ask, I guess, what are they pursuing? What do we see them pursuing? So it's high on a cliff edge. The Shuma are chasing after So we've used this to represent the marshals of Keyport in the past. But I'm going to say, just to kind of tie the story together, I think they are pursuing some of the children who have escaped from. They've kind of escaped the larger group, and they're running through the hills, or like they're kind of running along this cliff edge, and yeah, let's go back down to that one there. So they're running along the cliff edge, and the children are, I think, kind of hiding away from them. And I think I'm gonna say, I think we see this. I'm trying to save my questions. So I know it's an idea. I think hey Matt, welcome to episode 24 of Prisma Arena, the animated series. So I think our heroes kind of arrive at almost like a facing cliff edge, like a higher up area, and they look down and they see the Shruma, and they spot the children that are kind of cowering and hiding, trying to not be detected by the Shruma. And I think they are going to. Well, I think Jisan is going to. So Jisan, our hero here, is going to just like shout over at the Shruma and try and distract them and get their attention. So he's like, "Hey, Fungus Head, over here!" And tries to distract them. So I'm going to take an action. I'm going to shuffle the cards and see what happens. Are you working hard, Matt? So we're going to flip over a reaction card. Okay, so I think he manages to get their attention, and the children see that we're coming. And they kind of like wave, going, "Please help us." So I think we are. So I think they stop long enough, and so I'll work and play for you, Matt, today. So Matt is both at a conference and watching this at the same time. So we've distracted them for a moment, and I think Eleanor is going to. Well, I think we're all actually going to kind of run and kind of jump and kind of land between us and the Shruma. No, we're not. I think some of us are. I think San is going to run and try and lead them away, to see if they will kind of start following after him. So let's see if that works. No. So I think he kind of runs. He's kind of waving at them, and they're just like standing there looking and gesturing, but then they're turning back to go and search for the children again. I think Eleanor is going to try and, so this makes sense, is throw one of her, this one would be like a kind of a cloud, Prisma cloud, one of her little glass ball bombs. So she throws it over to try and block them and give the children a chance to kind of run further. So no, but I think I'm going to use that they're coughing. So they're kind of, the cloud, I think it's kind of too windy, but we've got the Shuma are kind of just held up for just a second as they're coughing. So the children do not get away though. So I think the Mona is going to leap over and try and kind of using her acrobatics and Prisma is to stun a few of the Shruma. So let's get excited and don't throw my tokens. No, I think when she goes to make the leap, it's too far for her to get over. Oh no, well, yeah, I think it's she realizes it's too far. She can't make the jump, and so I think Vika is going to just kind of channel up some Prisma. So I should be showing all of these characters here as we're talking. So Vika is going to kind of like channel up some Prisma, and no, maybe he says like kind of to want to stand back, and he's going to run and try and jump over. So no, and I think he is. So I think what happens is because we kind of it's worse for here. So I think when he runs, he goes to jump. I think he does actually jump, and he misses, and he falls short and kind of like catches onto the cliff edge. And I think the Shruma all just gather around him, and yeah, they're not impressed with his heroic attempts. But I do think the children are still kind of in hiding a little bit. So that's the last thing, and I have to go on to the next element. So I didn't take the time to ask questions there. Oh well, so we discover that they have an evil ally. So I think as we're watching from the other side of the cliff, ooh, we see so we did use some of that. What do we call them? So we did call these Zawari. It was one of the symbols we've been using, but I'm trying to think. I kind of want to incorporate this person, who's kind of like a saboteur of some kind. So I think, and we've also got the kind of potential scientist. I think we're going to bring back in some Zwari. So and the Zwari were controlled by, they were mist creatures, and they were controlled by the kind of supporters of people who lived in the Mimosa Mountains, and they were the Dryans. Maybe they're working together. So I think let's do that. Let's say as we're watching in horror, we see a number of kind of Dryans literally emerge or coalesce because they're kind of just these mist form creatures. And I think they're kind of like the Shruma and the Zwari are kind of gesturing at each other, and they seem to be able to communicate to each other. I think I'm going to ask them, like, what the hell are the Zwari doing there? What are they up to? Ooh. So they are so we're going up. So the waterfall. So I actually think they. Oh, what's the thing in my head? Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. I think we see them push Imjura forward. So and we all kind of look at each other and realize, because I didn't do it in the first scene, is Imjura isn't here. That she had obviously slipped away during all of this, and they have captured her, and they kind of push her forward, and I think I think they're kind of like gesturing and talking about what they're going to do with her. And I want to see, first of all, so one thing, how is Endura responding to this? Does she see us? So I think she is. I'm going to say she's kind of tied and bound. She's not aware of what's going on around her. So I'm going to use that kind of symbol there to indicate that. So she's awake because they kind of let her back in, but she can't see what's going on. And I want to see how the children are. What are the children doing? I think I'm going to use that to say, when we look, we realize they're gone. And we see them kind of climbing further into the mountains. So I think the children have got away, but they've captured Imjura instead. So let's see. we gotta go rescue her. I think. Let's see how the next scene opens. So that kind of scene ends with us realizing that they've captured Endura and that the children have fled. So this scene is going to be a threat of some kind. It could be one of these, and they are threatening or accusing us or kind of blackmailing us. So I think I'm going to cheat a little bit here, I think. Well, not cheat. So I'm going to use this to say we could kind of go higher into the mountains in search of the children. I think we need to get the children before the Zari or the Shruma do, and the Bringers. So I think we kind of back around and kind of try to follow them up and track them up into the mountains. And as we do so, we are confronted by the so I think we so I think it's the Shruma. I think as we're kind of searching for the children, we are kind of going higher into the hills, and we run into I think we run into some Shruma, and I kind of think of them behaving like Ewoks. They don't really kind of talk much. It's grunts and sounds and gesturing, and they are kind of pointing at us with their spears and kind of pointing up higher into the mountains, and they're kind of gesturing like for using gestures to say, small, like search, kind of go, and they're basically, and are going or else. So they're threatening to basically kill us if we don't search for find the children or help them to find the children. So I'm gonna kind of go like, what are our options here? Okay, so we could either try, I'm going to say that and say we could try and take them. We reckon we could, or let me see. That makes me think of one of Eleanor's kind of bombs. We blast that. Good luck, Matt. I'll keep you posted on how they fare in today's episode. Have a good day. So they could throw that one of the bombs. I think that's kind of passcode. Well, I mean, they could offer to help them. I think passcode is like work with them in order to kind of unlock more information about their plans. So I think they agree to help them, but it's for now. So I think because we don't need them chasing us whilst we're trying to do this. I think if we get the children first, then we can. That's our priority: is get them safe, and then we can kind of protect them. But while they're out there on their own, someone else could find them. So I think we agree, and we're going to go in search of the children, and with our kind of our Mocon, something our which Mocon we have for feeling. I think it's like worry or concern. So not quite Agla, which is fear, but I think our Mocon of feeling concern, that we go in search of the children and we find them, but I think one of them has been hurt. One of them is sick or has been injured. Okay, so I think Eleanor's going to immediately try and help one of them with her lightning seeds, which she got in the earlier episodes from Thornton, to try and treat the child and see if she can help. Okay, so she does. So she's got these lightning seeds that kind of almost have this kind of miracle cure. And I'm kind of curious. I think she's going to try and see if she can kind of like barter with the Shruma and offer them, see if the lightning seeds are of value and kind of what their reaction is to them, to try and gain their trust. And hopefully maybe this is more valuable to them than what they're doing, them helping the followers of despair. So I think she sees the reaction and decides to kind of offer them to them. Okay, so they are. But I think as we're doing it, I think the Rory appear, actually. Narratively, that seems to make sense, that we've kind of got them on board, but they... No. So I think, yes, they're going to do it, but they kind of indicate that they are extremely worried. So they start gesturing about despair and it like coming down on them and them kind of like dying. So they're worried about the consequences of despair. And I think we are going to... I think we try to reassure them that do we? I think we try to reassure them that with the help of the Guardians that we will between the Guardians and, well, actually, so I think Jatan steps forward and Jan's father is the kind of captain of the Rangers of Hendon Forest, which is where the Shruma are from. And I think he steps forward and kind of gestures. He's got the badge of the Rangers, because I think he was made one. Yeah, he's an honorary Ranger. I think he kind of makes a promise as an honorary, and he kind of gestures to them to say that he will protect them. And let's see if that persuades them. Yes, actually, they're very impressed. And I think they will help us in rescuing the children. So let's see how this works. So I'm not always sure how and kind of a threat turned ally is going to work, because they are going to have another agenda. So I think they've said they will help us, but we're going to discover something about them that's more than we bargained for. So we discovered that they were after a location all along. Some location. So I think they say they'll help us, but it's almost like, but first, they must So I'm going to say they must return with the. I think they must return to their camp with their lightning seed. With the lightning seeds to cure. I think some of the children who have, like some of the Shroomat that have been taken by despair, and so are they? I'm just wondering, is that back in Hendon, or is it nearby? So, because if it's in Hendon, that's going to take us all the way to this Doomsday Machine. I think it's. I think it's here on the mountain. I think they need to go back to their camp, and before they can do anything, is help the other Shruma who have been touched by despair, and I think they've been affected by working with despair and helping them. Well, so I'll ask actually, where is the camp? So I think the camp, I'm going to use this to say it's in a secret location. Yeah, it's in a secret location, only known to them, but it's kind of like hidden here in the mountains. But they kept it secret, and it is. Well, hang on. Oh, let's give it a name. I think. Where is the camp? It is the. So I was looking at. So it's the secret location, and it is the... So I'm going to combine two words from these. So sabotage and photo. So photo. So the location is the Saboto Caves, I think. Here are the mentions. In the kind of above Wailing Falls. Okay, so this is, I know it's kind of weird because normally you want to kind of really escalate things, but I think we need their help. And yes, we're getting a sidetrack, so I think this is kind of that kind of mid-episode where things are building up. So I think we're going to head back to the camp. That's the first thing I know we got to do. And we're going to be pursued and threatened or accused. So I think we're going to roll these. So I think I'm just going to be pursuing it. Okay, so I think as we make our way back to the Saboto caves, or we make our way into the caves, we notice we're being followed, and it is the Zavari. So they are again pursuing us, and they are scary. Mona did discover a book that would help her with this, and that had kind of information about the history of the Dryans and the Zavari and apathy. And I think as we're running through the forest, and as we spot them, we kind of turn to Chance and go, "Did you learn anything that can help us to defeat them?" So I'm going to see, did she learn anything? Yes, but I'm not. But I think she's not sure if it's going to work. And so we ask her kind of, what is it? Oh, so I'm just going to roll the strategies, and I kind of don't necessarily know what the outcome is going to be. So she says, you, in order to defeat the Zavari, what she's learned is that it is so I'm looking at these the cubes and trying to go through like mental cues as to what they might mean. So this could be code or password or secret spell. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's a secret spell. So there's like an incantation that you have to use with them, which is kind of strange in this kind of world where there is a lot of science here, but there's also these kind of, I guess, kind of like older traditional elements. So she says, "Yeah, I've been practicing the incantation that's needed to this work on them, but I'm worried that it's not going to work." And we tell her, "You gotta give it a try, because if you don't, we are in trouble." So I think they're chasing us, and we all kind of run ahead, and Demona, who is this character here, they stop and they turn and face the Zawari and starts to kind of gesture with her hands, kind of creating, I guess, a mixture of kind of like elements. So she's using sounds to kind of represent water and fire and earth, and she's uttering some strange words. And so she, it doesn't, I think she gets distracted and she doesn't get to complete it. But I'm going to use this to indicate something kind of surprising happens. I think it doesn't dispel them, but it kind of makes them, they start kind of acting a bit like kind of like chaotic, and they're like jittering and kind of almost like phasing in and out in such a weird way that causes Jisan to kind of like burst out laughing at this. So they haven't been dispelled, but they are not pursuing us. They're they're kind of like glitching, I guess is the best way to put it. So the thing kind of half worked. So I think that was actually our second. Yeah, I should have 4 left. Okay, so I think we're going to use that to kind of, I think, grab. I think we're just going to grab Endura and run. So we're going to kind of see if she is there. Okay, we've got her. But I think she is terrified, which is strange for Endura because she's always so confident. And she, like, we kind of release her and she kind of like pulls away from us. And so this is where I want to introduce, if I can do it. Which one is she on? She's not on any of these. Oh no. I think I'm gonna flip this over. I think I'm gonna use this icon here. So as the kind of, do I want this one or something else? I've kind of different ideas flitting through my head. So maybe actually I'll go with that was on. So I think I'm going to change it to this. And so she's terrified and she immediately pushes us away. And she kind of looks at us and says, like, don't you get it? Like, you're just kids. There's nothing you can do. Like, look around you. And we see the Endura, we see the Shruma with the kind of children in tow looking scared. And she's saying, you're a bunch of kids. This is too big for you. And she's just saying, like, just something has kind of gotten into her core. I think actually she's being overtaken by despair whilst being held by the Zawari, and her inability to kind of do anything to get away from them when she's usually in control. I think despair has kind of started to seep into her as well. And I think we collectively summon our so I'm just checking for what feeling it would be. So I think when she's saying that, I think we summon pain, like our Mokan of hurt, and Guava, which is affection, but mostly pain. And I think we just try to, I think we're going to, like, the heroes are going to hold hands and try and channel Prisma into, with the help of Eleanor, who's kind of more of the healer in the group. I think she's going to kind of put her hands onto Endura and try and kind of fill her with some hope or Prisma, and to dispel this despair. Okay, so it's not enough to, I think, dispel the despair, but I think it's enough for her to get angry. And I think what happens, just so we get a kind of a positive out of this, is that we fill her with enough kind of Prisma, which, if you think, is the thing she wants to learn how to channel her Prisma and access it. And I think for just a second, a Farg appears, and she looks completely shocked. So this is Farg, this little guy here. So a Farg appears, embodying her kind of anger, and she just kind of like snaps out of it, and she's still not kind of fully recovered, but she's I think she realized, she's like, did you see that? Did you see that? And there's like a little bit of hope in her now. We've kind of pushed back the despair for the moment. So I think we are going to, what are we going to do? I think we need to call for help. Like, okay, so I know we had to go back and the Shruma wanted to help, but we need to get these kids out of here. So I think we're going to try and contact Omax again and give them their location and tell them to come and kind of rescue the kids and get them out of here. Okay, so we managed to do that, but the Shruma. Okay, so they come and they're willing to take them, but the Shruma want us to help them before they go with the elderly, because they've seen what they've done. Is it that, or actually is it Endura has now kind of got that taste? I think I'll wrap that up. I think we're going to help the village. A nice mid-season kind of episode. So I think so they're going to take the kids away, and I think Eleanor says, "Can I stay a little bit longer, just to assist the village, to kind of essentially kind of cleanse it of despair?" And she had an idea. She's going to contact Mika, who they got to know at the Temple of Tanal, where they do the cleansing process. They do the ceremony every month. And I think he kind of teaches her how she can recreate it here in the village, to help cleanse the Shruma of despair. So she is going to run that ceremony. And okay, so the episode ends on a positive note. So with Meeker's aid and her kind of growing, I think, healing powers, she is able to kind of run that kind of cleansing ceremony over the full moon. There's maybe like a bonfire lit, and the shroom are gathered around. Again, some are kind of withdrawn, and some are aggressive, which we saw happen in the other location. Some are kind of crying, sobbing, and she kind of used the words. She, I think, uses the focusing torque that she had been given by the monks, and with the aid of that, she acts as a kind of a focus for the Prisma and channels it through, creates that kind of wave that runs through the people and kind of washes them clean of, or kind of washes them free of the don't say it's not tendrils, it's the kind of despair that's taken hold of them. And meanwhile, so I think Endura is there as well, and she's safe to kind of assist. And at the end of this episode, she says, okay, it's time you keep your promise. And well, I think she apologizes for the things that she said, and Eleanor's like, no, I get it. It was despair speaking. It was the despair speaking. It's okay. And I think she says to her, as they climb into their, I think, kind of a shuttle, she says, are you ready to begin your training? And Endura is like, hell yeah, wait till I tell her sister, who is Tila. She says, wait till I tell Tila, I'm going to become a, that I've like unlocked my Prisma. And they kind of walk arm in arm into the spaceship, into the shuttle, and take off, heading back to Beacon. I think that's kind of like a nice spot to kind of end the episode. There were a couple of loose ends. I think I haven't leveled up 2 of the characters, so I might do that quickly. I should have done it, I think, in an earlier episode, but I'm going to see what I can give them at this point. So I think the Mona, I realize, actually, I think going into future episodes, we do got to do some work on discovering about their parents as well. I'll make sure to incorporate that into a future episode. But I think, so just in terms of threads, I think we're going to tie up that the children are safe. So it's one of our new threads. It was rescue children from the bringers. Yeah, so we've done that. Followers of despair building a doomsday device. We need to deal with that one. The inspirers of wonder have taken an interest in our heroes. We haven't seen that play out. Mona's parents are in danger. Yes. Followers of despair are after Vika. They are the last of the Arcana bots. Yes, that's kind of an ongoing thing. I think we have. Oh, actually, so I think they all get companions. So they've become kind of friends. I'm going to say Truma allies. So I think both. I'll do it where both Vika and Demona get that. And I'm noticing I haven't. I'm going to change my camera to the notes. Full view. So I'm just going to turn this here. I haven't really given So we kind of have the journal. He hasn't used his goggles yet, actually. Vigid has been touched by apathy. So I need to give them one more thing each. What have they developed? I'm going to take all of these. Just give me some ideas. See whether the Shroomer gives them something, whether they learned something along the way. So something that would be useful to them, I think. I'm going to give Vika like piloting skills, because that's kind of come up a few times. I'm going to make it overt that they're kind of more the pilot in the group. And then for Demona, she has I think while she's been studying, I think because she's been kind of, I think, tracking her parents a little bit, I'm going to say well, it's either like survival skills, yeah, so maybe I think with her parents gone, and kind of reading through this, let me see, maybe with the help of the Shroomer, investigation. I think maybe investigation. I think because she's been kind of like trying to learn more about her parents and what's happened to them, and being kind of like looking into this. So I'm going to give her investigation. Just reminds her of Call of Cthulhu. So yeah, in between all this activity, she has been kind of like trying to track down her parents, and that information has kind of is beginning to coalesce now into this kind of skill. So, as always, the episodes don't go as expected, and that's what I love about it. What I'm realizing as I play the game is that it's helpful to have an idea of where you want the story to go, so that when things flip and don't go in the opposite direction, like the no's give you a direction of how to kind of rail against that. And I think that's kind of really crucial. And same with like when you get the yes, you know where you want to go, and the and is going to give you something better. So I think I'm realizing as I'm playing Untold, it's okay to want something to happen in the game. I think some people think that I shouldn't go in with any expectation whatsoever. I think that's going to make your life really, really hard and make the story really kind of like bizarrely open-ended. I think by saying I want to go this way with the story, let the game, because the game will do it, let Untold kind of confound your ideas for the story, and that way you'll always be surprised by what happens. And if because then the kind of challenge is always like, can I get back onto that track in some way, or it's more like you find a new direction that you want to head towards, and then the story is going to kind of steer you off that one. And that was always the intention with creating Untold, was to go start with the idea of a boring story is if I think it's going to end this way, and it does. That's dull. So as long as the story doesn't end up the way you expected it, I think you've kind of had a successful story. And it's like a fine line. If you go too far off, it kind of becomes too chaotic. Too close, a bit too dull. So you're trying to, hopefully with the combination of your imagination and Untold, it will get you into that kind of sweet spot of it was surprisingly different, but still cohesive in some way. So that is us done for the episode. Children have been rescued. I think the main thread starting in now is that we're back in. We're going to be back in Beacon, and we're going to be planning. We need to start planning how to take down this doomsday device that's being created. So I think that's probably how the next episode will open. Like I said, today is the 24th of November. This is the day when you can go online to our website or to any good game store and order Prisma Arena from your local retailer. And Untold, of course, is available to buy. It's a wonderful game, getting great reviews. And if you want to see it in action, actually, we play it every week, every Friday, as we're leveling up our characters, and you can catch all of those kind of previous games on our YouTube channel, which I will bring up this one, I think. So basically, you'll find us online on all the social media at We Are Hope Games, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. But you can find all the previous videos on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. for episode 25. And yeah, I'm just trying to find the time to bring in some of the experimental stuff. I think as we're kind of, whether I'll do it, whether I'll just wrap out this season. So we've done the 4 seasons within the kind of core rules, and then use the last 2 days to kind of experiment. I might do it that way, or I'll see how much I can get done today in terms of preparation and start introducing some of those elements, so you can see how you can kind of how some people have been kind of customizing Untold and how it can show up in your game as well. Either way, we'll see you back here at 10 o'clock tomorrow for episode 25 of Prisma Arena, the animated series. I'm really glad I started this. I didn't at the beginning, but I'm kind of glad with how it's been turning out. And yep, have a great day and see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye.